This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler & Agins, attorneys for Charlotte's startup community.
We were honored in June when the Washington Post referred to Harmony as an Uber for disaster. In the same way that somebody would use an Uber to get from here to there, we hope that you would use Harmony when you don't even have a there to get to. So in September of 2017, when Florida was evacuating 5 million people ahead of Hurricane Irma, and Houston saw another 1 million people displaced by the floods during the rains of Harvey, we saw gas stations running out of gas. We saw restaurants and supermarkets running out of food. We saw hotels across the country priced at absurd rates. We saw all of those things and we thought there has to be a better solution than expecting people to sleep in a rest area for a couple of nights. And we believe that Harmony is that better solution. My name is Adam Huminski, co-founder of Harmony. I currently work as group controller for lithium mining operations in Chile, China, and Nevada for the largest lithium provider in the world, headquartered right here in Charlotte. And I have 10 years of progressive finance experience. Before that, I was a city director for 10 years for a large nonprofit organization. My partner, who is unable to be here today, Brian, is 15 years of experience in sales and commercial development. And so we have a powerful team that understands the problem, and I'm going to explain to you more about how we're going to solve this problem. During the Irma evacuations, I was looking for an easy way that I could share my spare bedroom with somebody who just needed a place to stay for a couple of days until it was safe to turn around and drive back home. I went online, I did some searching. I didn't find any fast and safe way to facilitate those matches. So Brian and I had a conversation about it in September of 2017, and we decided that we could do it better, we could do it faster, and we could do it safer than using online classified ads or expecting people to search social media for a friendly post somewhere. That's how Harmony was born. Harmony is a mobile app that facilitates matches from people in safe zones who have extra space to people who are being evacuated that only need a place to stay for a couple of days, free of charge, just until it's time to turn around and get home. The matches are safe and secure within our platform, and they're able to be made quickly, which is paramount. We plan to monetize this application through what we call our premium group ID service, or our private group network. What the private group network does is it allows organizations to create a private housing network within the application so that its members can be connected to one another in the event that anybody in that network needs a place to stay in an emergency. We believe that in the future, Harmony will be a standard line item on a company's health and safety benefit offering for its employees. We are also building in-app advertising that's interactive to the situation. This is going to allow businesses and consumers to connect quickly when resources are scarce and surge pricing is rampant. And we believe that this is going to change the economics of an evacuation situation. Where there's currently a large market inefficiency, we see this as being something that's going to drive prices down and smooth out the surge pricing that is endemic in these situations. We had the mother of all beta tests in September when Florence landed on the Carolinas. We were looking for two things in our first test. We were looking for proof of concept, and we wanted to make sure that the app worked under duress. In a 36-hour period of time, we had over 500 people sign up to host people who were coming inland. It was a massive success from a testing standpoint, something that was new to market. Would the public embrace this? And the answer is yes, they did, okay? So in conclusion, from the beginning, our intent has been nothing less than to change the evacuation scenario entirely. We want to change it not just for the evacuees, but for people like us that watch helplessly while disasters unfold, unable to do anything until after the event has passed. This puts all of us on the front lines. That's been our objective. We are seeking $800,000 in seed funding, which will allow us to run the business for 2 years and scale this nationally. Currently, we're focused in the Southeast. We're working on getting out to the West Coast now with the wildfires. We have a lot of work to do. That money is going to allow us in 2 years to scale this nationally and unlock a tremendous amount of value in those scenarios. So we're asking you to join us as partners in unlocking that value, reaching that scale, and maybe changing some lives. So thank you.
I'll start, yeah. Awesome. So definitely hits a theme for me, as I'm pretty much at this point very involved in climate and the impact that climate has in extreme weather. So resonates beyond just the cool business concept. What's really interesting, to go deep for a second, is the group ID.
Yes, sir.
Part of the platform. So I think you can spend more time there, and
Yes.
again in this 5 to 10 minute format thing, I would spend a little bit more time there and describe to me like who you see as the first users of that platform. Is it a Bank of America, or is it a local business, or I don't even know, but that would really kind of set the hook even deeper.
Yes.
In my mind. I think you're probably one of the first people in several years, as far as I can remember, that actually said, like, here's what we wanted to learn from the prototype, and we did. Like, that's actually pretty cool. I kind of harp on that a lot, so I thought that was awesome. And yeah, I mean, in general, like, I think it's hard in 5 minutes. You did a good job. Get a little bit tighter on the group ID business model and how that's going to be your hook and your scale.
Okay.
And I also, I like things like, hey, we're going to start with the Southeast, right?
Okay.
I think you have to give. Some people think they've got to get up and be like, we're going to crush this multi-billion-dollar market, right? It's like, no, we're going to learn from our mistakes quickly, and we're going to use your capital efficiently, and we're going to get to a point where we can scale.
Great.
That's what seed and Series A investors care about. So just stick with that. That's your play.
Okay.
Keep up on that. I liked it, and I definitely want to follow up with you. Like, I think it's kind of in the wheelhouse for stuff that we look at.
That's great. Thank you.
I'll also, Adam, great job. I did like the hook, right? The Uber for disasters, so that at least got our minds focused on what you were doing. I liked your team slide. I probably wouldn't have spent any time on the day job, so to speak, because investors don't care, right? I mean that's your background.
I don't care either, so we're a perfect match.
Right. The other thing here is that you get an interesting mix here between, as I understood it at least, your people are looking for a free place to stay. So you're getting volunteers basically to sign up, and yet you're monetizing. So you're mixing this idea of donations with a commercial model. And I think that left me a little fuzzy and a little confused as where you get that. And again, you hit it because you're doing the private group network model for large companies. But one of the things that it sort of left me thinking was, well, are large companies actually going to want to put something in place where they're actually staying in sort of donors' homes, right?
Sure.
It just created a question of how do you sign them up? So I would have again liked to have seen more. I love the fact that you did the proof of concept. You actually got 500 people to volunteer to let people stay in their homes.
It was an amazing week.
Yep, and it'd be nice. Again, you didn't have time to do this in 5 minutes, but it would have been nice to know how you managed that. Right? What did it cost you to do that? And then on the large company side, on the way you're monetizing, how are you going to begin to do that, or have you begun to do that? That was sort of what resonated in my mind. And then I sound like a broken record here, but when you did 800K in seed, you talked about 2 years you were going to scale up. But I also want what milestones are going to be hit.
Yes.
Right? We're gonna go and do this in the Carolinas. We're going to go do it in where,
right.
and then once we do there, we can begin to scale, because then I can get a use of funds, and then I know what my targets are going to be.
Absolutely.
The other thing that just popped into my head is a connection here. Have you chatted with anybody over at the Foundation for the Carolinas here?
We've not spoken with them, no.
Because they're actually doing some similar things around emergency relief type of stuff that they do, and they actually have that sort of donations / private company. And by the way, all of those large companies that you might want to go talk to, at least in the Carolinas, they have relationships with. So
thank you.
and we can take that offline if you want a connection
definitely.
there.
Adam, great job.
Thank you.
I mean, top to bottom, it hit a lot of the things that I'm always looking for right squarely. One of my favorites is just, you describe the idea and what it is, just bam. And when you got the business model, that's when my mind was racing a little bit. I was like, I mean, why, and this is just naivete maybe on my part, but why couldn't you right now make it something that insurance companies could pay for?
Sure.
It's, but yeah, overall great. It's timely. Yeah. I really enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you.
I'm really, really interested, and I know that's not probably super helpful, but maybe I'll pass it out to the vultures
more
out
helpful
here.
than the
Maybe they can pick it
alternative.
apart a little. But for what, other than more detail about and timelines
Yes.
about what you're going to do specifically with the money.
Okay.
Maybe one layer of detail about the business model, because that's where I was like with you, and then I was like, whoa, like it seems like a big jump to what happens in the 2 years.
Right.
It seems like you're going to need more money than that.
Okay.
To operate everything, keep everything going until Bank of America starts paying you, big dollars.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we've got time for a question from the audience. Anybody want to? Yeah, first I saw you pitch several months ago.
Okay. Yeah, we were here in July. Yeah.
Yeah, you did a fabulous job today.
Thank you.
Really, really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It seems like the concept really worked with some of the natural disasters this fall. Did you guys have the opportunity to monetize it all during that time as well, or was it more a proof of concept providing roofs to people who needed it?
Yeah, it's still proof of concept, and that's what we foresaw going into it. We're talking about something that's in its early stages still, and if you think about the businesses that we take for granted now, like Uber and Airbnb, people laugh them out of the room initially. You're going to let a stranger, you're going to put hitchhiking into an app, and that's going to be a good thing now. So we expect that there's going to be time that takes for this to be adopted. What we've encountered from corporations that we've talked to is there's a lot of interest, but it's like the junior high school dance. They're all kind of waiting to see who's going to go out there first. Our critical path is going to be through the emergency management community, actually. Those are the no-nonsense, hey, we got to find a place to stash 1 million people. You guys might help us do that. So that's going to be a non-monetary lane first, but I think that's what's going to be the critical path that's going to get us to our monetization. Go ahead.
Yeah, I echo Garth. I think from a personal standpoint, immediately you did a great job on that. I think from a business model perspective is where you start to have some ambiguity.
Sure.
And as a guy who's spending a lot of time in the digital marketing space, that's the last place I would go.
Yeah.
You need an incredible amount of volume to make that relevant, and they don't behave the way you think they should behave.
Right.
And I think, Garth, from a thinking about the really understanding the pain point for which people will pay, insurance companies, large companies, finding that vein,
Exactly.
I think will be far more productive.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
One more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What if you got, if you think about who's pinched when those emergencies are happening, like you've got the city of New Bern or other places like that have to find a place to send 50,000 people, and every single one of those people ought to be willing to pay $300 a night.
Sure.
And so if they're going to be for 2 days, they ought to be willing to pay $600. So what if you struck deals with the municipalities as the disasters were bearing down and said, look, we're going to charge like a placement fee of $20 a night or something like that, but if you cover us, we'll waive it. And you can cover, so you can basically cover your residents, and whether you're pitching that to the state of North Carolina, who needs to place, and I don't know what the right figure.
You're talking about a sponsorship model, effectively, for the municipality to sponsor.
I just think it's going to be a long time before you get the Bank of America to provide it for all their employees. That's a cost that they don't even know. Like when they're not staring that disaster in the face, it's hard to get someone to pitch it. But when someone really needs that, and it's like, holy shit, we gotta move X number of people. I don't think people would be averse to you charging $10 placement fee, and you could say, well, only then if you're pitching New Bern, you're pitching the governor of North Carolina, saying, okay, provide the service to your citizens, it's saving them tons of money. It'll cost you, and we're only charging $10 for every single person we place, or whatever it is, be a huge revenue source for you. and it'd be great PR for them for something they're doing,
Okay.
and hugely money saving for everyone.
No, that's a new angle. Thank you. That's a
Yeah.
good thought.
We're gonna have to stop it there, but thank you,
Thank you
Al.
very much.
Thank you, guys.